Ladies and gentlemen, remain standing for the playing of the national anthem.
Please be seated. Welcome, graduates, parents, family, friends, and faculty. As I'm sure many of you have noticed, there are a little over 200 graduates here today, and I'm also willing to bet that there are a little over 200 different opinions about our 4 years here at Wayne Hills. As I was reflecting upon this, I realized that some of us may be thinking about the years before we came to Wayne Hills. I realized a few of the changes we've gone through. Those Little League games that we got so worked up over have now turned into state championships that we worked so hard for. Those fun dress-up games that all the girls used to play have turned into our stressful prom night preparations. Our late-night bowling games of manhunt have turned into our own full-time games of manhunt, despite the fact that we played last night and, in true Wayne fashion, the police came. Family bowling trips have turned into avoiding our families at all costs. And the full-time distractions of playing video games has turned into a full-time distraction of, oh wait, video games. Regardless of what has changed or what has stayed the same, these experiences have helped to mold us into who we are today. In addition to thinking about the past, some of you may be thinking about things you've learned. I'm sure that all of you have gained academic knowledge. However, academics are most likely not the part of high school each of you is choosing to reflect upon right now. Seeing all of our friends here, actually graduating here today, and coming to the realization that we may never see some of these people again are probably two of the most foremost thoughts in your head. Some of other things you might be thinking are, who's having the first graduation party? Or I hope project graduation doesn't suck. Or how did I really make it here? Or maybe what is this girl trying to say? But I'm sure there are a few things that remain constant in all of our minds today. They can range from, wow, what am I going to do at college? Or after this, I have to go to work. Or maybe it's, I'm really glad that someone screwed up because I definitely don't have enough credits to be here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the point is, high school has been what each of us has made of it, and it is what we take from it that matters. I can't say all the things that each of you has learned, but I can tell you a few that I've learned. For example, procrastination does work. As Mark Twain once said, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do the day after. There's been an unwritten understanding throughout high school that I'm sure I'm not the only one to notice. Don't say anything to anyone doesn't mean anything to anyone. There is an anonymous quote I found that I think describes this best. The easiest way to keep a secret is without help. But besides keeping secrets, we have all learned about that amazing thing called friendship. We all came into high school with our own set of friends. Now, leaving high school, most of us have completely different sets of friends, but we all know who have been our truest friends, and as Marlene Dietrich said, it is the friends you can call up at 4 a.m. that matter. Happy birthday, Tiffany. Now, through some of my experiences and through some of yours, I've come up with some lessons that would have been useful coming into high school. Number 1, windows are not exits. 2, spirit can be bought. 3, painting the bleachers is still illegal. And 4, no matter how quiet you try to be, parties will always get broken up. Now that high school is over, maybe we can use some of these lessons and apply them to our futures. High school is one of the highest levels of learning. Walking away from Wayne Hills, I think we can all say we learned a great deal, not just academically, but otherwise as well. It's obvious that we've all changed drastically, but change is inevitable and will never stop. So the only thing left for me to say is just remember this time, because it is the most special time of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class valedictorian, Jeff Kornitzer.
Thank you, Katie. Tell me, O muse, of that ingenious hero who traveled far and wide after he had sacked the famous town of Troy. The stories that we have heard and those that we have told are nothing compared to what will be. The journey is beginning. Whether we have set off to conquer or whether we'll be sauntering over the dailiest days possible, the epic is dawning. We have ruled our past and we master over our present, yet we balk at our future. We know we are only participants in our fate. The Odyssey is unfolding. As we move forward, we need to inquire, to question not only what is, but what was. Our Odyssey unfolds as we question Nestor, begging him to link our past with our future. Even when Nestor, our link to the past, cries to us that the past is but a shadow that has strutted and fretted across our stage, we should not believe him. Many times in both the near and distant future, the links that connect the past and the future, the then with the now, will seem misleading. With so many paths to choose from, trust Nestor, trust your past. However, our Odyssey does not rely solely upon the past. Failure in this place does not mean failure in the future. With a new outlook, with a new vision, the rugged individual can rise. Unfortunately, too, success in the past does not mean success in the future. You may have been 3-season varsity in sports, drum major of the band, or president of the class, but on this new journey, you must create a new legacy. The prospect is scary. We must stay the course. Various temptations lie ahead that promise to disrupt the journey. Our first temptation, the easy solution. Do not fall victim to Proteus, the fortune teller. Do not listen to him when he claims that he holds the key to your future. Proteus is tempting. The lure of assurance can be too great, the beauty of escaping from reality. Although we cannot create our own fate, we hold the greatest key. There is no escape from the future, no viola with a sweet tune, nor a movie with a cunning hero that solves all of our problems. Tell Proteus, no, I will make it on my own. Remember Nestor, draw links to the past, and Proteus, with his lures of too easy assurances, will disappear. Even as he tries to limit you, remember that you have the key. Proteus cries, blow out your candles, say goodnight, but don't listen. With the tools and links to our past, we hold the future in our hands. As we move past the temptation of seeking the easy limits, we can fall victim to the trickery of false beauty. The beauty of Calypso blinds wise Odysseus. Calypso will tell you of money, of power, of large houses and beautiful cars and days lying on the beach. She won't tell you of the sacrifices you must make. Rather, the Calypsos of our Odyssey will tell us to stop and join them on their tumble into a spiritual wasteland. She will cry with exquisite eyes and lustful lips, do not take risks. Stay on the inside of the wheel where nothing changes. And it is true. At the center of the wheel, there is no change, no risk. But there's no possibility for advancement. The persuasive Calypso will counter, but if you only knew deep down what pains are fated to fill your cup before you reach that shore, you'd stay right here. What Calypso doesn't know is that we have our past and we have surpassed the temptation of Proteus. We want to succeed and we will succeed, even if it risks risking everything. The lure of Calypso's false beauty are only temporary. Nothing is gained without sacrifice. Our Odyssey moves forward. Having moved past numerous temptations, we have reestablished ourselves. Now, however, the true challenge begins. Powerful giants, cannibals, stand waiting for their prey. The weaklings, the underdogs. Going out into the world, we will no longer be the Uberman, riding on top of the rules and administering to the administration. Upperclassmen, professors, bosses, there will always be someone one rung higher. There will always be one more crime for which we must pay. We cannot climb to the top of the ladder climb, 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 but to no avail. Climb until you find your niche. Don't worry about reaching the powerful giants, the cannibals. Just don't be enslaved by their superiority. Don't be eaten alive. But the giants of our times are the least of our worries. Scylla and Charybdis will appear out of nowhere. Death on either side, not a place to go but forward. Dilemmas will certainly develop. We may find ourselves between a rock and a hard place. Our decisions must flow from past to future. The solution may lie in that balance, the return to servitude or a climactic signature of freedom. Free yourself, free others. Scylla and Charybdis will yield casualties, but do not fear. In the end, we have done right. Move forward and through, past the points of no return. Now we listen intently. Their voices perked, mimicking our inner being. The sirens sing a beautiful song. Let's idle with them for 1 minute. Careful! The music of the sirens, our final temptation, beckons us to his track of our lives. With echoes of our inner desires, the beauty of the drunken song intoxicates all who are willing to lend an ear. Do not settle into your spot of immortality just yet. Do not recline in your colonus. Idling for even one moment may be your final move. The sweet songs of inactivity and leisure can appeal to the hard worker's ear, but do not let the sirens fool you. It is not the beauty of the song that lingers, only the memory of what could have been, and listening may lead to certain ruin. The last adventure of your Odyssey is about to the death with one final enemy, the Cyclops Polyphemus. The brute strength of the Cyclops is no match for our power. After this epic, one that has built us and fortified our will, not even a brutal monster can defeat us. It is no use to try and set traps in a childish game, chasing a reflective monster around an island. Do not become the beast. Use what you have acquired over the arduous journey, wit and wisdom, strength and selflessness, to undo the Cyclops. Even if old and withered, you are at the height of your power. No self-indulgent giant can combat the sum total of countless temptations, overcome failures, and adjusted perceptions. Blind with scratches, worn, tired, battered, our Cyclops is crushed. Now it is time to go home. Ah, Ithaca. It is our destination, our home. When we get there, the journey may be over, but the land is the memory. With a goal in mind, we set off on a journey, an epic. The Odyssey followed suit. Holding on to Nestor, our link to the past, we braved the cold waters. In him, we saw a hint of Ithaca, a hint of our home. Although Proteus, Calypso, the giants, the sirens, and the Cyclops attempted to slow us down, we kept moving. We had no need for delays, no need for a pause. Our Odyssey has had a purpose. But once we arrive at the shores of Ithaca, we cannot despair. Love her, appreciate her, look forward to the future, but know what it has in store. And know that at the end of your Odyssey, you will be back at Ithaca. In the words of Constantine Cavafy, always keep Ithaca in your mind. To arrive there is your ultimate goal. But do not hurry the voyage at all. It is better to let it last for many years, and to anchor with the island when you are old, rich with all you have gained on the way, not expecting that Ithaca will offer you riches. Ithaca has given you the beautiful voyage. Without her, you would have never set sail on the road. She has nothing more to give you. And if you find her poor, Ithaca has not deceived you. You, wise as you have become, with so much experience, you must already have understood what Ithacas mean. Ladies and gentlemen, I present our class salutatorian, Matt Keurig. 3 years and 6 days ago, I attended my first concert at Giant Stadium. I remember feeling a lot of things that day, but mostly apprehension. I was worried about the set list. What if I picked the bad night? There were 3 nights and I picked the first one. No band is ever on the first night. I was worried about my parents' reaction if they found out I had lied about some of the transportation details. What will they say if they find out tomorrow, or next week, or 3 years and 6 days from now when I have to give a speech in a large gymnasium? Mostly, though, I was worried about the rain. Clouds had been gathering all day. The darkness slowly rolled in with the straggling crowds. The first thing I noticed looking down at the floor seats was the collage of umbrellas that the bootleggers had set up over their microphone stands. It was really no surprise then to hear an interlude of the Beatles' Rain during one of the songs mid-set. If the rain comes, they run and hide their heads. They might as well be dead. If the rain comes, if the rain comes. Those that were in attendance that night all agreed that the storm which came was certainly one of the worst they had ever seen. It was certainly reminiscent of the ones that we experienced a few hours ago. Throw in some hail, a lot more wind, and the safety that only a large metal bowl can provide you, and you're there. The rain held back into the last song of the night and would end shortly after its conclusion. From the second tier where I sat, I could see a few running, fewer hiding, and most living. The next 10 minutes was certainly some of the most intense, even frightening at times of my life. It's not exactly easy to focus on a performance when the lights in the hallway at Giant Stadium begin to flicker. But I stayed. Slowly the music in the storm began to melt. The thunder began to synchronize with the rhythm of the drummer. No matter what the weather reports and warning signs told us, we were not expecting a storm of that magnitude. But it happened and became a moment that was something more. When the show could have easily ended, everyone's spirits broken, the band kept playing a song running for an intense 10 minutes and set the tone for the crowd. Their music told us we did not have to run and hide. My message today is by no means political. The storm is not over. The leaders of whom I speak are not in power. They sit right before you. The World War II generation is not the greatest generation for their military strength, but for their victories at home. Victory gardens, the expansive change in the roles of women in the workplace, the attitude of sacrifice without asking for anything in return. That's what makes a generation great. Our yearbook's theme this year was definitions. How do we define the class of 2004? We have been defined many times over the years by our teachers, by our peers, but mainly by our actions. Is the class of 2004 when Andrea, Lisa, and Brian showed us at SDA that we have not one but 3 deserved outstanding dancers? Is it TJ exploring his career options as a street musician outside the library after finals? Is it finding Yu Young sketching you from the corner of a classroom? Is the class of 2004 Ryan's bass playing at the Lantern Coffee Houses? Is it Carly singing, Heidi playing piano, Lauren's poems? Or is it Jim, Kat, Danielle, and Gail and their effort to bring that book of which I speak? That's just what I've seen. The artist is one who strips himself of the secular fear and who soaks in the rain, takes for what it is, and crafts it into something more. The few that I have mentioned have showed that to me, and I wish I could have been there to see the moments for each and every one of you. Constraints of mortality being what they are, I couldn't have been there. But while I may have missed your individual moments, I am here to see the spirit these moments have formed. It's the spirit of fierce independence. It's alienated many along the way, but it's never failed to impress and leave its mark. It's that attitude which will lead us to a definition never lacking in passion. It's that attitude that sees a storm as a shower. Most of all, it's a definition that I'm proud to call myself a part of. Thank you.
May I have your attention, please, for a brief announcement? Up in our circle, there are vehicles parked that are double and triple parked. They need to be moved or the police will tow them because an ambulance cannot get through. So if you parked in the circle and you double or triple park, please move your car or you will probably have to get it from impound. Thank you. Welcome to our celebration of the accomplishments of 247 graduating seniors. Before I share my thoughts and wishes for our graduates, I will recognize the passing of Elaine Watson, who was called to rest on June 9th. Mrs. Watson was a pioneer in women's athletics. She established the field hockey and softball teams and coached each to over 200 victories. In recent years, she was instrumental in the development and ongoing revisions of our physical education Project Adventure program. As Elaine Watson touched the lives of many students and colleagues during her years at Wayne Hills, I ask you to join me in a moment of reflection. Thank you. About 3 hours ago, I had to make a very difficult decision, and I think that as principals, as a superintendents, I should say, make decisions about closing school, principals have to make decisions about graduation exercises and whether they're outside or inside. It was a very difficult decision, and I do apologize for the heat and the closeness and humidity in here, and I will encourage everyone to be brief. When the skies opened, we were hustling around because it takes about 2.5 hours to set up outside or inside with the electrical equipment, the sound equipment, and many of the things that needed to be moved. A number of people really stepped forward and helped us. And graduates, especially for you, sometimes there are people that are unseen and that often work tirelessly to make things happen and happen well. I'd like to thank Mr. Luca Semerero and the custodial staff, as well as Mr. Lehman, Mr. Castagna, Mr. Stantangelo, and Mr. Dorflinger, who all worked, took phone calls, were carrying and moving flowers, furniture, and equipment to allow us to have this inside tonight. So I thank all of you. Tonight we have heard the personal insights from Katie Ackel and historical metaphors from our Valedictorian, Jeff Kornitzer, and Salutatorian, Matt Couric. Their presentations were perceptive and thoughtful, yet covered a wide range of perspectives. These eclectic thoughts best represent our graduating class, a class whose legacy will be the uniqueness of its individuals and the ability to celebrate warmly and openly the talents and personas of its members. In closing, graduates, I ask that you live your life with purpose, strive for personal best, and respect and dignify the community of people who care for you. For inspiration, I leave with you the words of Ronald Reagan. I know in my heart that man is good, that what is right will always eventually triumph, and there is purpose and worth to each and every life. To every graduate, I congratulate you, thank you, and wish you well in all your future endeavors. To you. Okay. Dr. Link, Mrs. Herman, Mrs. Hershaft, Dr. Nusatelli, Ms. Uzo, Mr. Lehman, and all who are gathered here today. The students before you have successfully met all state and Wayne Board of Education requirements to graduate from Wayne Hills High School. It is therefore my honor to present to you the class of 2004. Just a note, before Dr. Link, our superintendent, speaks, I would like to recognize his contribution to our school district, the Wayne Hills community, and I would like to present him with this plaque as a token of our appreciation for his dedicated service to the Wayne Township Public Schools, and I wish him well in his retirement.
Thank you, Mr. Markowitz. I had profound words of wisdom that I was going to share with you this evening, but because of the heat, humidity, and the fact that I suspect you didn't come to hear me, but you wanted to be with your friends, and finally on to project graduation, I'm going to dispense with those words of wisdom. But I do trust that your lives will not be unalterably altered for the worse, because I don't share them with you tonight. Mrs. Herman, Vice President of the Board of Education, with the authority vested in me by the Board of Education of the State of New Jersey and the Township of Wayne, I certify that the members of the class of 2004 from the Wayne Phillips High School have successfully completed all examinations, curricula, and courses of study mandated by both boards and are worthy of graduation. At this point, it is my privilege to introduce Mrs. Catherine Herman, Vice President of the Board of Education. Mrs. Herman.
Good evening, everyone. To fill one of my requirements in college, I took philosophy, and one day the professor had a question on the board, and the question was this: what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? Just hearing that question again makes me think the same type of things I thought so many years ago. I would go hang gliding, go for my doctorate, sail off for parts unknown. The possibilities are endless. Of course, I would attempt anything, everything. Every student in the class came to the same conclusion. These words were liberating, setting us free from those usual confines of do's and don'ts. But then we all realized that none of us had attempted everything and were, in truth, only attempting things at which we could be successful. How limited and how narrow that perspective in relationship to what exists in the world today. But we did not consciously shy away from goals and accomplishments that were within our reach. Society gave us and continues to give conflicting messages. In other words, there will always be people who will tell you what you cannot do. It is up to you to define what you can do. It is good to know that the future you are presented is free of so many, but not all restrictions, like gender or race bias. You truly can be what you want to be, and you can do what you want to do, and you are only restricted by your talent and your work ethic. Belief in yourself and your abilities will sustain you in difficult times. Surround yourself with people who have a positive outlook on life and everything it has to offer. And every now and again, repeat that quote that I began this message. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? On behalf of the Wayne Board of Education, congratulations and the best of everything.
Daniel Berardi, Neil Ashoni, Daniel Chang, Brian Google, Braden Delaney, Daniel Damacoli, Marcio Muñez, James Peter Robinson, Steven Zara, Matthew Keurig, Jeffrey Kornitzer, Kathleen Sullivan, Carly Hess, Virginia May Harrison, Angelica Tucker, Amy Christine Cedra, Megan Trainer, Lisa George, Nicole Fantuzzi, Mira Gundy, Michelle Elizabeth Kreiner, Andrew Scott Brown, Ryan DePerry, Jamison Sint, Matthew Sheffield, David Ortiz, David Shaman, Thomas Yu, Michael Isaac Laurie I, Sean Coogan, Dennis Deone, Kevin Fornarucci, Adam Tordini, Jason Finekind, Emmy Gallardo, Jennifer Vigorito. How do you want me to say it? Melissa Anderson, Ashley Bakelman, Katie Shanks, Nicole Reyes, Jasmine Sinchon, Anna Martinez, Courtney Thierry, Jacqueline Fiordalisi, Sarah Perini, Christina DePaolo, Alicia Gonsalves, Samika Ajas, James Angud, Kirolos Neshet, Pete Camerata, Joe Iannacone, Sean Andres, Adam Quazza, Andrew Bauer, Christian Kraus, Alex Rom, Mike Wu, Ryan Angelillo, Joshua Moore, Dea Galera, Gretchen Ruffgarden, Christine Pagano, Michelle Morano, Christina Quint, Andrea Friswell, Monique Mastromarino, Megan Demarest, Tiffany Demarukas, Amanda Citrullo. Jackie O'Sullivan. Kelly Scroll. Tony Ann Russo. Olga Yugalev. Daniel Azzolini. Encore Shaw. Christopher Mallory. Adam Maslowski. Jason Jablonski. Anthony Kronk. Patrick Preckle. William Pryor. Anthony Dominguez. Adam Basundio. Sang-Hoon Moon. Carol Hanashi. Heather Ash. Jessica Nadarse. Audrey Levine. Lauren Germanario. Rosanna Mapser. Margaret Poulos. Vanessa Felice. Monique Sinkyu. Wait. Jessica Kaminsky. Nicole Matano. Jessica Zisa. Amy Searfeld. Allison Rube. Anthony Benani. Matthew Botbile. Andre Bernaud. Andrew Alfano. Brian Pagan. Adi Ovilo. Chaz Lynn. Jesse Farina. Stephen Cravar. Chris Zambelli. Gazim Polinski. Aymet Osmani. Jared Petruska. Lauren Middleberg. Kyujin Lee. Natasha Lindberg. Melissa Mao. Ksenia Popova. Yadranka Glavic. Jenny Youngun Lee. Linda Marie Nicosia. Catherine Minster. Ali Kwiatkowski. Andrea Dispenseri. Stephanie Mohamed. Haley Silverman. Joseph Blanche. Matthew Semeraro. Kevin Kunzig. Tambi Ishak. Addison Berensweig. Zaid Vwich. Justin Kim. Mohammed Manasrik. Scott Gila. Ryan Green, the man. Andrew Bushi, the other one. Michael Garrity. Ryan Mink. Maria Klimovitsky. Catherine Kofer. Lisa Saporito. Dana Bachna, Rachel Litsky, Meryl Schrank, Stephanie Petrak, Danielle Serber, Jean Pinto, Caitlin Kiernan, Brittany Yodice, Gail Finkelstein, Carrie O'Keefe, Jennifer Marcus, Tamim Kadash, Dan Albanese, Michael Bavona, Christopher Miller, Jonathan Klein, Michael Salemi, Justin DeBow, Tim Glita, Steve Reines, Matthew Pfefferkorn, Brian Bijolonic, Alex Pareja, Anthony Palazol, Brianne Daniel, Jennifer Olowski, Helena Klein, Vanessa Cristina Rodriguez, Jessica Izquierdo, Nicole Messiger, Natasha Frungen, Lauren Lashevsky, Rachel Rizito, Yu Jung Na, Kristen Leskowitz, Irina Pustovalova, Andrea Geiger, Dana Lynn Balecki, Charlie Mysak, Brian O'Neill, Kevin Connolly, Christopher Job, Patrick Burian, Chris Kowalczyk, Michael Furtak, Rob Lowe, Ryan Horahan, Everett Lewis Garnto, Michael Eric Gerald, Joseph Michael Ligori, Hani Shapsik, Alyssa Nicole Uzara, Nicole Marie Brady, Antoinette Analora, Amanda Mascaro, Diana DiLorenzo, Stephanie Polney, Krista Caltageron, Danielle Marie DeMaria, Jacqueline Torrey, Shayna Galina, Kelly Lake, Adam Benson, Matt Smith, Jason Greendike, Richard Kafati Jr., Court Hollick, John Palara, George Rogacki, Anthony Gilliberti, Luke Hyun, Matt Blackman, Ryan Maddock, James Gerber, Thomas James Siafi Jr., Adam Bauer, Michael DeMoro, Rishi Desai, Phil Constance, Jeremy Namoff, Long Lai. Henry Andrew Baum. Matthew Jeremiah Marilakis. Anthony Lyons. Gerald Froats. Kevin Guskowski. Kevin Shadell. Christopher Hughes. Mohammed Hamoud. Pioso. Justin Rubino. At the podium, class treasurer Amy Szyminski. Class secretary Bridget Toledano. Class vice president John Sama.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the alma mater, then after the alma mater.
And myself, class president Katie Ackle. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the alma mater. You may all sit down now. As this ceremony comes to an end, I think we need to take a moment in order to give special thanks to the best advisors in the history of advising, Mr. Lehman and Miss Yuzo. Not only have they provided us with guidance, support, and unprecedented dedication, but they have become our best friends, and we give our undying gratitude along with a few gifts. If you two will please come up here so that we can express our thanks to you. Okay, it seems that they've left momentarily. So, we'll just have to give them their gifts later. Well, in just a few minutes, when we all walk out of this gym, we will no longer be high school students. That life that we're beginning is what our parents call real life. If you all accomplish in your real life what you've done here, I'm sure that you'll all have successful and happy lives. But we should remember that the best thing you can do for yourself is follow your dreams. In closing, I'd like to thank all of you for making my high school experience so special. Good luck with any endeavors you may undertake in your futures. Y'all just, graduates, stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the class of 2004.